Hey, what's up guys? Your average wargamer is back with another video of World of Warships, and I'm going to be featuring another super carrier game, and it is the one and only tier 11 carrier, the British one, the Eagle, and it's probably, in my opinion, one of the strongest carrier, like literally the strongest carrier in the game. I also rate United States and security really strong, especially if you have Halsey on the United States. It does really good. Security is also insane, but Eagle is also a ridiculous ship. And in this case, you will be able to see why I am saying this. Man, these planes are insane. She has jet booster. These torpedo bombers and also the bombers. These are basically audacious bombers. I mean, if you can look at the specs, they basically have the same stats that you have in audacious torpedo bombers, and the bombs also are the same thing. But obviously, when you are playing a super carrier, and if you put the survivability expert perk on this super ship, you basically get extra HP compared to tier 10. So in this case, they do have extra HP compared to audacious, but other than that, it's basically almost the same. And in this case, obviously, these torpedo bombers of audacious, they're pretty good because the reticle works really well. They are basically having the reticle in which the torpedo bombers have a very narrow cone. Basically, all the torpedoes turn in towards the target, which basically gives a lot much higher chance of hitting the torpedoes on basically any ship. And that's what basically makes these torpedoes very consistent on basically anything. And obviously these bombers, if I can show you the stats, these are basically audacious carpet bombs, and they basically have 36% fire chance, which is insane, with 6,400 damage. Usually, if you have any chance, you should use them against basically heavy cruisers or basically battleships like Conqueror Republic or Montana, because they have basically very vulnerable deck, like 38mm on Montana class ships and 32mm on basically French and British. So yeah, you usually you should use these carpet bombs on that ships, but they are probably very good fire starters. And in this case, I'm gonna try to drop the Sun Yat-sen, which is basically a Russian hull, a tier 9 Sovietsky Soyuz hull. So I might not be able to get a lot of penetration hits, but certainly I have a chance of getting fires. And in this case, you can drop a lot of these bombs, clearly. Well, unlucky me, got 10 bomb hits but didn't get a fire, but I'm gonna be okay. I can just drop him again. Since he was behind the island, well, that actually helped me to drop him again. And I'm probably going to drop him. So I did exactly that, and in this case I got fire, but obviously non-pens because, well, it has tankier deck armor. And now we come up with these rockets. These are basically these tactical squads. Well, they throw a lot of rockets, 20 rockets in payload, like per plane. So you can imagine 60 rockets coming on Sun Yat-sen. Another very good fire starter, but again, obviously, if you use them against a ship that has 27mm armor, they are going to be pretty insane. Destroyers are very vulnerable to these rockets, so keep that in mind. If you use them correctly on DDs, you can chunk them a lot. But honestly, I really like Eagle. It's very strong, and it's really fun to play. I mean, if you like carriers, sure, you can play Eagle. It's pretty insane. In this case, I'm basically trying to go to Sun Yat-sen again, maybe Satsuma, because these battleships are pushing for no reason on it. There are so many ships out there, and Satsuma basically deciding to basically push like that for no reason, and he's definitely going to take a lot of damage. He's already like 19-20,000 HP, does have a fighter plane, but he popped in basically very late that I can able to do another strike. So that basically sucks for him, but he's basically almost dead. Got a permanent flood, and he's dead, pretty much. That's a really messed up, push, and he can't do much about it. So I basically decided, let's go and drop the Sun Yat-sen. And he popped defensive A. Sun Yat-sen does have defensive A to keep that in mind. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, that is how it works for this poor guy. But again, he's on the islands, and poor guy, well, he's going to eat all 3 torpedoes, which is good. And let's come up with these torpedo bombers that taken quite a bit of a time. So now let me show you these torpedo bombers. Well, these torpedo bombers again have this narrow cone curving thing. Like, so if you drop on any target, you basically have like 75 to 100% chance of hitting all 4 torpedoes, even if the battleship is sort of bowing in. And in this case, the Montana is actually bowing, and full HP Montana here. So I thought, okay, let's drop this guy from the bow, and you can able to see what I'm talking about. Look at that dispersion, like it's pretty insane. I got 3 torpedo hits just from the bow, and they do a lot of damage, 7,800 damage, so it's pretty crazy. And he actually damage controlled the fire. Oh, sorry, the flood. Unfortunately for him, if I come up with these bombs are also pretty insane. 9 bombs in payload, so imagine if you're going to land these bomb hits, and 54mm armor penetration, which basically you can take on any German battleships as well. So it's kind of insane. And in this case, obviously, the Montana is kind of bowing in right now. So I thought, okay, let's drop this guy, and look at that damage. Holy shit, that is 22k damage, and got a fire as well. So poor Monty taking a massive bomb hits. Poor guy was basically full HP, gotten Citadel by probably Yamato out there, and now he's down to 27,000 HP. Got a fire here on him, so I mean, if I try to set him another fire with these rockets, that would be really nice. And in this case, that did not happen. Well, they didn't hit on the superstructure. I want to get the fire on the bow, but that did not happen. But you can able to see the strengths of the Eagle. Ship like Montana is very vulnerable because these bombs are pretty insane, like those tactical squads. So yeah, it's not gonna be good if you are taking this damage. So these bombs, obviously, these are usual audacious torpedo. Sorry, the bombers, the usual bombers. 41mm penetration capacity, and Montana, because he's trying to kite away, trying to run away. Well, I thought, let's spot and kill this guy. Almost dead Montana out there, and obviously the bombs do pen, so I have a chance to kill this guy very much quickly. And let's see what happens. Obviously the Montana has a ridiculously big hull and 17,000 HP. Let's see what happens. Like, look at that. Can you see this? Like, it's almost 12k damage, and even though the Montana just DCB the fire, well, he is again down to like some HP left. He healing some of the HP there, but I think I'm might not be able to get the fire. I think I'm just dropping him so early. Yeah, but you can able to see a 18k damage. Poor Montana tried to heal back and lost his HP again pretty quickly. So, I mean, when I saw that, I thought, oh, okay, oh, that poor Monty, man. He just basically can't do jack shit. It's really impossible to do much about these Eagle planes. And then, obviously, I decided, let's go and take down the Montana. But what happens is, CV put the plane, and, well, these planes, the fighter planes that the super carriers put, well, they don't last for too long. So I thought, well, if I wait for just a bit of time, I might be able to drop this guy, and that's what's exactly going to happen. Because let's see, yeah, you see, the fighter did not last too long, 20 seconds, and it's enough. So, well, I can easily take on Missouri, pop the heel, dropping these torpedoes that are basically undodgeable really at this point. Especially they're like turning in, like you have this really curving cone, which basically makes them very sort of undodgeable for battleships, and that's what exactly going to happen. He hits in 3 torpedoes, pushing relentlessly, like for no reason, and well, he's almost down to 10k HP. And I know he's going to die. He's going to probably eat torpedo of Shimakaze. and he is basically dead. So, well, I thought, who's going to be the next target that I can take on? In this case, spot the island along the way. He didn't turn on A, which is really, really good because he can actually potentially able to do a lot of damage to my plane. And that could be not good because Eagle might be able to shot on my plane. But now, since I have full HP, tactical squad, well, I think I am very much confident that I will be able to pull out the strike back. And this Eagle, he's trying to run away on speed. He's going to eat all four torpedoes, which will net me some good damage. 4 torpedo hits almost 25k damage. So he lost quite a bit for his HP, which is pretty much shown here. Okay, so the Yugumo actually having its a turn on, and since I want to drop on Yoshino, I will do exactly that. Then I come up with these HE bombs. You can able to see really good fire starters. Does not have this pen, like these rocket does not have pen, but fire starting capability is really good. And the Yoshino damage control the fire. So, well, I have a good chance of setting fires because that's what this entire line is all about, dot damage. And the Eagle does really well. It's pretty insane in that regard. For some reason, Yoshino decided to broadside the Minnesota for some reason, which I'm not sure why. I thought that he's not going to broadside, but he did that. And that basically kinda makes my drop sort of worthless, because I'm not going to get a lot of bomb hits. As you can only see, only 3 bomb hits. But this time, I might be able to pull this off. Let's see what happens. A lot of AA though, a lot of strong AA. But let's see if I can able to pull that bomb. In this case, again, he's turning here and there. Only got 1 bomb hit, so clearly, well, whatever Yoshino wants to achieve, he did that. I was not expecting him to do things like this, but, well, I can't do much about it. In this case, obviously, well, I saw, well, the Schlieffen is turning out. So maybe I might be able to do some strike on the poor Schlieffen, because he's turning out and Yoshino is dead. So let's see what happens. Trying to align the bombs well, but in this case, they didn't manage to do really anything. Only got 1 bomb hit. Didn't able to get to the bow of Schlieffen or stern of Schlieffen, because that's what you have to do with these planes. These tactical bombers, they are not that easy to use, but obviously if you use them well, you get rewarded pretty well. Yugumo, obviously, he's just having its air turn on for no reason, and I sometimes don't even understand why these destroyer players does that. Yeah, sometimes it's pretty much mind-boggling to me, to be honest. So they do have 2 destroyers right now. Did 209k damage, which is pretty good. I mean, a couple of mishits, I would say, on a couple of ships, but other than that, I did a really good game in the Eagle. And so I decided, okay, let's just show you this capability of this guy, but it's pretty good. Schlieffen, well, he tried to dodge these torpedo bombers, well, but he did not manage to do that. And again, obviously, I have my torpedo squad, the last torpedo squad, ready for him to take him down. And I got 1 torpedo, like, flooding. And basically, if you don't know, what happens here is I have a Andrew Cunningham, another legendary captain for this guy. And finally, the Yugumo, who is trying super hard, well, he's going to take some rocket hits at least. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to say is I got the Andrew Cunningham. So what happens is, once you get 4 floods here, as you can able to see, once I got 4 floods in this captain, what happens is I got 5% increase in speed, which basically makes these, jet fighters even more faster. And obviously, you can able to see that much damage I have done to poor Eagle, and I'm gonna do exactly that again, since I know I can able to damage farm this guy again, and you will see that's gonna happen the same thing to that poor Eagle. If I get 4 torpedo hits, yeah. So I got 4 torpedo hits, so that's pretty good damage, and I got 254k damage, which basically very much typical of super carrier. If you know how to play this super carrier, 250k damage is basically easy in late game. Like, this should be how it's gonna be. Like, this is gonna be a norm. It's pretty much a norm, so you should get that much damage. And in this case, I'm really getting that much damage since, well, I know how this carrier can be worked well. So yeah, that's what I'm basically doing in Eagle. Obviously, Eagle has very low HP, and I don't have tactical squad, but well, regardless, I can just drop these torpedo bombers, which does help a lot in doing good damage. So only 15,000 HP left. I think these 3 torpedo bombers might not be enough with the damage, I think. Never mind. Only got 2 torpedo hits. I don't know why, but yeah. So after killing this Eagle, the game is going to end, so I will just skip that part. So finally the game ends. You can able to see I did almost 260k damage. Not that big of a deal. 32 torpedo hits. Got high caliber, which is great. Got some good bomb hits. 42 penetration, which is really good. Obviously, it could be less once you are trying to drop on the battleship that has thick tech armors. But obviously, that tactical squadron does help. That has 54 millimeter armor penetration capacity. So keep that in mind. So it's a good game in Eagle. 2.1k base XP could have done better in this game, but our Yamato did really well. I really like what he did. 2.6k base XP in a super carrier game is definitely good. So if you know what you are doing in a super carrier, man, super carrier is basically you are the grandmaster, and all of the other ships that are playing in water, well, they are basically victims. So what can I say? This is what usually happens when you have a super unicum carrier player. And I'm not like bragging about myself. I'm just saying that anyone who is a good super carrier player will literally going to cause a lot of issues to any enemy team. So there's exactly that. So I hope you like the game. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you into the next one. Peace out.